right, cool. What's up, guys? So in this video, I wanted to show you how you can book in 3 to 5 meetings per day using cold email. And I want to just show you a bit of the workflow for a very successful campaign at the moment that we're running that uses and leverages AI personalization at scale to basically be able to book in these meetings, whilst also obviously leveraging a incredibly targeted list and a good offer. So if you have those three components, good list, good offer, and AI personalization at scale, you will be able to speak to your prospects one-to-one so that they can actually respond and you can actually stand out in the inbox. So if you're struggling at the moment with, you are trying to figure out how to set up like a cold email campaign, you're trying to, scale your business up, you're trying to get more clients, you're trying to book in more meetings and just generate more revenue, but you're a bit confused in terms of like the tools to use, you're a bit confused in terms of like the setup, how do you set up the email infrastructure, you don't really know where to go, there's different advice online, it's pretty tricky. Or you've set up campaigns in the past, they haven't worked very well, the response rate is like super low, you basically are spending like hours and hours building the list, and once you build the list, it's a bit of a headache to build the list, you're like scraping different things, you don't know how to find like the contacts, you don't know how to find the email addresses, and yeah, just generally like it's a bit of a headache. So if you're struggling with that, and then also, you might be running the campaigns at the moment, and the responses have completely like dropped off. You're spending all this time, you're investing a bunch of money on actually doing this, and then all of a sudden like it's just not working, not yielding the results that you actually want. You start thinking that cold email isn't necessarily for you. So if you're struggling with any of those things and you've been in a position before where, yeah, you've tried out cold email and it hasn't worked for you, you think that it doesn't work for your industry for whatever reason, or you've been burned by other agencies as well that kind of promised you the world and not delivered on that, then this video can kind of help you and show you a little bit about, if you're in that position right now, how you can go from there to booking in, 3 to 5 meetings per day using cold email. But I think the main thing and really important thing to understand is here the three components that make up cold email or a really good successful campaign for cold email. So the issue is at the moment that most of people's inboxes are basically like completely crammed with terrible emails, right? I receive emails pretty much every single day, people offering me their services, and I always look through them and I always like briefly just flick through them. But what's happening is a lot of prospects, because they receive so many emails, they start to have what's called a mental spam filter. So if you mention any particular words, or if the email looks generic in any kind of way whatsoever, then what's going to happen is the prospect is going to immediately, without like consciously thinking about it, they're going to subconsciously flick that email into spam, delete it, or just ignore it because they've seen it a million times. You are literally no different to everyone else. And so if you think that you can just build a list, put those contacts in, write a couple of generic emails, maybe segment it a little bit, right? But even that, most people aren't doing that. But if you think you can do that, and then you can send those emails out and expect to get good responses, it's just not going to work. And that is the reason why you're not getting the results that you want to get with cold email. Because if you have each one of those three components, a good list, a good offer, and AI personalization at scale, then you're hitting quality and quantity, which gives you every chance of standing out in the inbox so that you don't look like everyone else. And it really isn't that hard to actually stand out in the inbox. The old way of doing and standing out in the inbox is to manually research every single prospect, one-to-one, which might take 5, 10, 15 minutes to actually get the information that you need to be able to actually then reach out to them with that information, right? And that tells them, hey, I researched you, like my message is kind of like worthwhile. But people aren't even doing that, right? And obviously doing it manually is going to take you ages, or you can outsource that to like a VA and it's just not going to be very as good. But instead with new technology, and if you leverage new technology, you can do that basically in like one click of a button with a couple of AI prompts. And the goal here isn't to write each email with AI and to have a whole email written by AI, but segments and parts of the email written with AI. So if you combine that at a large scale, what you're doing is you're talking to your prospects one-to-one. And you're not just writing some personalization of like, hey, congrats on this, right? Because people have seen that a million times. And so if you think that AI is about writing the first line of the email and then that's all that it needs to do, and it doesn't need to have any kind of cohesion with the rest of the email, like you're very wrong and you're still going to not get very good results. But if you have the personalization at scale for very important parts of the email that then tell your prospect when they read it, like, oh, this is meant for me. That's what you want to make the prospect feel like. You want to make the prospect feel as though this email is for them specifically. It's for no one else. It's for them specifically. And they're reading it as if you just sent it to them, as if you just wrote it manually, one by one. But instead of doing that, we're leveraging AI and technology to be able to do that at a massive scale. So you get the same one-to-one feeling, but from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 prospects at a time. So being able to and learning to leverage that skill and knowing how to actually use AI properly, not in a generic, crappy way, but actually being able to leverage it for personalization on a massive scale. On top of once you've got your offer down and once you've got the list in terms of like who you're targeting, and it's a pretty targeted list, if you've got those three elements down, then you will create campaigns that crush it and kill it and do incredibly well at being able to actually land in the inbox and get your messages read and responded to and stand out in the inbox so your message doesn't look like everyone else's. It cuts through the noise and you're then able to book in those meetings that you want to book in. So on this channel, like obviously I talk quite a bit about, I use Clay a lot, and Clay is the tool that we leverage the most to be able to enrich information. The reason why enrichment is so important is because it gives us data points to be able to then use AI to talk about those particular data points so that your emails look more personalized and more one-to-one. The more data points that you have and the better you know how to use AI, the better it is going to be in terms of what the prospect receives so that your email is actually stands out so much more, which means, again, you get better responses. And on top of those responses, you get better pipeline, you get more meetings booked, you close more deals. The more positive responses that you can get, right, that are geared towards your offer, the more likely it is that you're going to build like a really good pipeline, and the better it is, better chance you're going to book in the call meeting, and then the better you're going to be able to actually like chance of closing them. So if you want to actually generate revenue from cold email, and you're struggling to do so right now, and you just like it's taking up so much time, or you just don't know how to do it, the list building is like a massive headache, you don't have, you want to like automate it a little bit, then being able to leverage tools and AI together allows you to automate it. So you can have a system in place that will automatically generate like all of those leads that doesn't take up very much time at all. And that personalizes the messaging one-to-one. So whatever system that you're using at the moment that's maybe not getting the results you want to get, by being able to leverage AI, you're able to get a much better response rate and be able to cut through the noise. So I know I'm repeating myself and going over, but it's so important. There's the reason why I'm saying it over and over again, because it's so important to be able to learn how to do this. And I want to show you here the workflow of how it is, how it's done. So obviously the first step that we do is we build an initial list of companies. Once we built an initial list of companies, we do that in either Crunchbase, Apollo, or SalesNav, or in Clay that links with SalesNav. So once we built that initial list of companies, right, and that's very targeted, so we do a lot of exclusions, we do a lot of like, filtering so that we've got the right list of companies. Once we've done that, then we enrich that to find the contacts, the right people that we want to target at those companies. So we use LinkedIn to do that. And obviously this works best if you are, targeting, I don't know, for example, tech companies, agencies, and things like that, right? It can also work for many other industries, but it works particularly well for those because they have a lot of their data on LinkedIn because they use LinkedIn quite a bit. So that's the workflow. We obviously can take care of like that entire process. So you don't have to worry about like, how do you scrape? What do I build the list? We can also do it very targeted. So I don't know, let's just say you're targeting people in a, specific, you're talking like targeting technology founders. You can find groups on LinkedIn. You can find groups on different places online and be able to scrape that information, find their contact details, and then reach out to them. Or you can find people that have engaged in particular LinkedIn content around, say, for example, like a sales prospecting tool or like Google Ads or like anything that you offer that's relevant to what you offer. You can scrape those people in a very automatic and seamless way, or we can kind of handle that to be able to then reach out to them with a very targeted, very personalized message, and then being able to leverage AI to be able to increase the response rate from that so that you're already saying like, hey, I can see that you're interested in this thing because I've seen that you're interacting with this post, or I see that you're commenting on this post. I see you're talking about this thing. We help like achieve this, right? Because they're already in the market. They're already thinking about it. So that's basically timing it super spot on that they're thinking about that problem that you solve at that particular time. And we do all of this in one place, and we do it pretty much automatically so that you don't have to think about all of these different things. We just add leads in at the top, and then it automatically goes through these workflows that we build out for you. So what I mean by this is, you'll pull in the list. the companies, then you'll enrich for the people. Then we'll have like all of this automatically updates. So as soon as you add in a lead, it will automatically run the enrichments. So find the different data points. So what I mean by this is it'll automatically find their email, then validate their email. Then in just this example, we will automatically scrape for their fundraising data. And then once we've got fundraising data, we'll format that so that it's in a readable format so that when we're reaching out, we can make comments on when they last fundraised or that particular data. These are other variables that we use for the campaign in terms of like when the last time was and how long it's been since they last raised. So we're able to add that into the email as well. And again, making it more personalized. Every single email is individual to that person, which is massive and key. And you couple that with a good list, which is a prerequisite, and a good offer, like you will absolutely kill it, and you will 100% get lots of bookings and lots of meetings. And all of them are qualified because you qualified them at the list level. If you're reaching out to people that aren't in your criteria, then obviously you're not going to be able to do a good job. But if you qualify them here, and another great thing about using Play is you can actually leverage it to qualify and use AI to actually qualify the leads before you even reach out to them, right? And I'll make a separate video on that because it's a whole other thing. And then we automatically enrich and find information using AI on their company, and then give us something to say about what that company does so that it's specific to them. And we use all of these workflows and we do it automatically. So once it finds this information, it will then push this information and pull this information. And then it does the same for here and it does the same for here. All we need to do is add in these people, right? And we take care of that process so that we're automatically adding these leads in, depending on who you're targeting, build that customized list so that you don't have to worry about, have to have that headache of like, how do you build the list? How do I do all of this stuff? Like we do it completely automatically and very simply for you. And then it will automatically enrich all of them for the right data points. Use AI to personalize these emails so that every single email is one-to-one. So no longer do you have to spend ages like trying to build the list, having a headache of all that stuff, like dealing with different spreadsheets, knowing what to write in terms of the copy, like just all of this stuff, managing the campaigns, managing the inbox, like all of this kind of stuff. We take care of that entire process so that you have a system in place that runs pretty much automatically. The only thing you need to do is just look at the calendar in terms of the number of meetings that are actually booked. And all of these people would have gone through a qualification process, which is done again at the list building level and also through utilizing AI to basically qualify the leads based on whatever the criteria is that you have. So all of that is automatic. It's running. It's in your business. So, and it's a much more cost effective way than say using ads, Google ads or anything like that. And it's something you can rely on that generates leads predictably and consistently if you have those three factors. And you obviously have a good product or service. You have a good, you have a good testimonials, case studies. You have something in place that basically shows and tells the market that you are good at what you do. If you do not have that in place, then obviously you're not going to be able to actually generate the results that you want. You still might be able to generate results, but the main thing is you want to make sure that you have something in place that allows you to scale. And that's what we're going to be able to allow you to do through all of these things. We can reach out to thousands of leads per day, all completely emails one-to-one, using workflows like this within Clay that allow us to build the list that's customized for you, and then to personalize every single email so that it's completely one-to-one, stand out in the inbox because people are getting peppered left and right through cold emails and just a generic and everything. And it's really not that hard to stand out in the inbox. It just takes a little bit of thought. But if you can do this and allow us to do this for you, then this is how you'll be able to book in more meetings every single day. So you have that system that's pretty consistent, reliable, and repeatable. And you can kind of like bring it up, bring it down. You can turn the tap on or off whenever you sort of want, and scale it up or scale it down as much as you want. And that's what's so great about it. It allows you to have a lot of level of control. But I wanted to show you here what this actually looks like and what like a table looks like of all of these enrichments. And the reason the enrichments are important is because they're adding data points to then make the emails more personalized so they stand out and you get a better response rates. And if you're not doing any of these things and you're not leveraging this, then you are still probably spending time like either you've got a sales rep that does all of this manually, right? In which case it's more headache because you have to manage the sales rep. They're spending a lot of the time doing manual data entry, which is just not the job that they are assigned for. So you're paying someone who is relatively smart to do a lot of manual data entry, which should be done by technology. So if you can learn how to leverage AI in this way, you'll be able to cut the cost of having to constantly increase the size of your sales team and the amount of sales reps that you have. Be able to scale essentially so that you're not having to constantly increase your costs as you increase the sales rep count within your team. So if you're able to do all of those things and you're able to do it at massive scale whilst also retaining the quality side of things, because we can build out very customized workflows to make the emails that we send like incredibly customized and personalized to every single prospect. So if you want to do that and you want to learn more about that, then you can book in the call below. We have 3 requirements or 3 criteria. You have a minimum TAM size of 50,000 prospects. Because we use a combination of quality and quantity, we do things at scale. The second one is you have at least 3 case studies, 3 results-based case studies. And the third one is you charge at least a minimum of $5,000 for your service as a customer lifetime value. So if you have those three things, they're booking a call and you're interested in learning more about like how our system can work for you and how it can be built into your business so that you have a repeatable, scalable lead gen and lead flow coming in consistently so that all you have to do is close more deals and actually have your sales team or salesperson, sales reps, spending time actually doing the things that's most important, which is actually closing the deals and building relationships with customers rather than doing manual data entry and like all of this stuff. Let AI and us and tech do the heavy lifting for you so that that system is automated so that you can work on that. So yeah, if you're struggling with any of these things, this is a very quick introduction to into how this could work and what like a workflow like this would actually look like. So that you can see, and then I've showed it on other videos in terms of results, and I've got plenty of other case studies on the channel, but just showing you how we're able to actually generate like interested leads from here. So people that are responding and asking for more information, and then being able to book those people into a meeting on sales calls. So yeah, if you're interested in doing that, then book a call below. And this was just, a video to kind of show you how this would work. And then automatically we push it into like our smart lead campaign so that we're able to actually, we're reaching out to these prospects after they've gone through this entire enrichment process. And this is how we leverage AI. You can also here as well, link it up with your CRM so you have it completely automated. So it'll look up, add, or update records within your CRM. So if you're using HubSpot, Pipedrive, etc., Salesforce, then it can automatically do this as well, so that you have a system that's managed all in one place and it's pretty automatic and it's very systematized. So you know who you're reaching out to. You can keep everything on track so that your sales reps are actually doing the highest leverage tasks, essentially. So yeah, if you're interested, book a call below. Just wanted to show you what this looks like on a step-by-step level. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.